And so today we're going to be looking at sun salutes, which is really going to bring together the postures that we've looked at already this week. So we're going to put them together into some sun salute sequences. Now, I must tell you that there are endless variations of sun salute sequences. In class, we have learned the classical sun salutes, which we call sun salute A and sun salute B. Sun salute A is on with low lunges, and sun salute B is when we include warrior one. The sun salutes, or in Sanskrit, Surya Namaskar, comes from the word namaskar, which means to bow or to adore. So these sequences derive from when the Indian people in India would rise at dawn and prostrate themselves to honor the sun as the source of life. And it's not really clear when sun salutes became a thing. There is evidence to suggest that it started in the early 20th century, but then traditionalists in yoga will tell you that it started way back when the yoga texts were written that I showed you the other day, way back in about 2,500 years ago. So there's no evidence of that. They're not written up in the yogic texts from 2,500 years ago, but there is evidence of sun salutes being incorporated into gymnastic sequences that were taught by Hitler's teachers of the army. So they were using the classical text Pradika Pita to teach calisthenics, really, to young men training to go into the army, because they were understood to be such a good holistic exercise. So they were taught as exercises. And at some stage there, the jumping jack action of gymnastics, jumping back from downward dog forward to a forward bend, and jumping from a forward bend back to a downward dog, that's a jumping jack action. That was incorporated into the sun salute, or one variation of it anyway. So there's also evidence to suggest that the main yoga teacher at that time in India, Krishnamacharya, that he was teaching the sequence that we know as a basic sun salute. There were no jump backs or jumping jacks as we know them. And then it evolved from there. And now there are endless variations of what constitutes this sequence that we know as a sun salute. It is the most holistic form of exercise in that it works every joint in the body, and it's a good way to start your practice to warm up the body, to mobilize all the joints, and to synchronize the breath. So one thing to remember in your sun salutes as your yoga practice as a whole is that when we inhale, we extend, and when we exhale, we push down, or we bend as well. So inhale to extend and exhale to bend. And that is a pattern that we consolidate when we do the sun salute. So not only do we synchronize one breath with each action, but we also are training our body to do that, to inhale to extend and to exhale and bend or push. The videos you'll see, there are those variations. The very basic classical sun salute is shown, and then a couple of other variations which are also shown in your diagrams. What's interesting about the sun salute is that to complete a cycle, you need to have worked both sides of the body evenly. So if, for example, you're stepping back with the left leg to begin with, you need to then repeat the action with the right leg. And so you'll see that in the diagrams quite clearly. And of course, we have all practiced this in class, so only those of you who haven't been to my classes will have to follow the diagrams to see that more clearly. Generally speaking, a sun salute, as I said, is a complete a yoga practice in itself. It's what we call the perfect exercise because it works all parts of the body. It doesn't raise your heartbeat or your blood pressure too greatly, but just enough to increase the circulation. And we say that if you do 10 minutes of sun salutes a day and then have a 5-minute rest in corpse posture at the end, that's sort of like doing a quickie. That's like a quick yoga practice, and it's perfect in itself because you would have worked all parts of the body. So we do it before a longer practice because it not only prepares you for that longer practice, but it warms the body and prepares the body as well. So it's an essential part of a yoga practice is to practice these sun salutes, these sequences of postures that we've already been introduced to in the last few days. So I hope that you will experiment yourself with getting a bit of a sequence, a bit of a flow happening. And, you know, you don't have to do the jump backs. You can step back and step forward, whatever you're most comfortable with. Do remember to focus on the breath because it all comes from the breath. And it's that awareness of the breath that keeps your awareness inside the body as well. And so that makes it more of a mindful activity rather than gymnastics. So breath comes first. And because you're focusing on the breath, you will have more awareness of what your whole body is doing. And then it becomes a form of meditation when you get into the flow. So I hope you enjoy practicing sun salutes today as you bring the awareness of the previous basic postures from this week into your sun salutes today, and enjoy yourself. And I shall speak to you on Monday, if not before. I'll be reaching out to you over the weekend just to see how you're going with the series. So if you want to start thinking about what you might talk to me about, I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks everyone. Have a great weekend.